Going on, FSU famo? Today I want to chop it up about some future Noles, some combine performances, some lack thereof, and a whole bunch more today with the Polk County Nole, man. Let's talk about it. So, this weekend, first of all, let's get something straight, guys. Haven't been as active on the content as I should be, but as you can see, that intro, baby, the channel's going through some maintenance, man. So while I'm trying to perfect my craft and do some different things, you know, it's kind of what I've been going through and going for right now. That's kind of what's been preoccupying my time. But look, all the things, they're coming back. The Saturday Night Lights, Friday Night Chop Chat. Try to get back on schedule. I'm just trying to, if I'm gonna do this, man, I kind of want to do it right. So that's really where we at right now. But this weekend, some two Florida State Seminoles got combine invites. Cam Akers, Stanford Samuel. I want to chomp it up about those two. I also want to chomp about two other guys that I think have a professional future. Notice I said professional, not NFL. But Dontavius Jackson, Levante Taylor. 4 draft eligible Noles. I think only one out of the 4 gets drafted to an NFL team. However, I think all 4 will be professional football players. With this XFL league, and if you look at the XFL and what's going on right now, you got a guy like Jaquez Patrick having a solid XFL first season, given an opportunity. Tavares McFadden, a guy that Stanford Samuel's cut almost in the same mold as him, but we'll get into that. NFL, but he's in the XFL having a solid season. You got Kermit Whitfield in the NFL. You got is it Roderick? I think either Roderick or Reggie Northup. One of those 2 linebackers is in the XFL. I think it's Roderick. But anyway, you got a multitude of Noles right now in the XFL. And that's really where I'm coming through with this video. Look, Cam, let's talk about Cam. Because he killed the combine in every aspect, in my opinion. He was a star. Ran a 4.47. Great time for him. Check out the Deuce Staley drills, what they're calling it now. They're doing this at a his footwork was amazing. I think Cam could I'll be honest with you, this running back class isn't that strong in my opinion. And whoever you think the number 1 back is, if you think it's Swift or if you think it's Taylor from Wisconsin, Cam, whoever you think the number 1 back is, I'll be honest with you, there's not much that separates them. I don't care what anybody says. If Swift's your guy, you're gonna have to explain to me what separates Swift from Cam, because Cam has everything DeAndre Swift has. He just didn't have a good offensive line at Florida State. I think Cam Akers could be the first back off the board. And in a lot of ways, I would argue he should be the first back off the board. It's going to be so fun, I think, in the NFL to see him behind a competent offensive line. He's a physical specimen. If we chop it up about Stanford, so this is where things, Stanford is what I always thought he was. And this is where I'll talk about Stanford and Tavares McFadden. 2 guys with similar builds, tall, rangy corners who are slow as molasses. McFadden actually, I believe, has better ball skills than Stanford Samuel. I think McFadden is a better football player than Stanford Samuel. I don't see Stanford Samuel getting drafted. Ran a 4.7. I don't see him getting drafted, and his best bet would probably be to hit up that XFL and make a name for himself there, where I think it's possible. But you could see now why a guy like Harlan Barnett wanted to move him to safety because he's just not fast. The problem is Stanford Samuel, he's not physical either. He's not fast, and I don't believe he has great ball skills. Look, I'm sorry to say this. I don't think Stanford Samuel was a good football player, regardless of what position you put him in the defense. So I don't see Stanford Samuel really getting drafted. Maybe a team takes a risk on a guy and around 6 or 7. I mean, because he is a 6'2" corner slash DB. Maybe a team will work with them there. Who knows? But don't be surprised if Stanford Samuel is in the XFL. And then the next two guys that I really wanted to talk about because they didn't get combine invites because they're not NFL quality players, and that's a fact. But they're the two guys who are notorious for the Boise State fumble, not recovering that. Yeah, those two guys. But D-Jack and Levante Taylor. Levante Taylor always had the odds against them. In today's NFL, you got to be almost 6 foot and above to be an effective corner in this league. As the receivers have grown, the corners have grown. Devontae is 5'8", didn't grow a lick in college. Not sure he gained much weight in college. He's 5'8", 180 at the most. Like, he's too small. He was always too small to really get, in my opinion, legit consideration at the NFL level. It doesn't help that I don't think he's as fast as people thought he was. He does have good ball skills. He will pick the ball off, but I don't think he's not strong for his size. He doesn't have the athletic traits, in my opinion, that may compensate for his lack of size. But I think he's a guy. Again, you put him in the XFL. I'm not here to promote the XFL or anything, but what I am saying is I'm excited for the XFL. I'm excited that there is an alternate football league, and these guys don't have to go all the way to Canada, where, let's be honest, none of us are watching Canadian football. I don't even know what channel it comes on, if it comes on a channel. But ESPN and Fox are both showing XFL games. That's a chance for Florida State players and other players, for that matter, to be showcased and broadcasted to a major audience. Levante Taylor is one of those guys. I think D-Jack is another guy. Again, not NFL caliber player. I think a lot of D-Jack's problems, I'll be very interested to know what he runs in the 40. I think a lot of his problems is here. I think maybe physically, Dontavius Jackson could be, a second string linebacker or like a special teams player in the league. I do. His problem is he is a selfish player and he's not a smart player, and has never been. And ultimately that will kill him. But I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like D-Jack could go to the the XFL, and actually really shine, really, put on for the university, put on for himself, for that matter. XFL for me is all about opportunities, and I think with Cam Akers, you got bona fide NFL caliber player. Stanford Samuels, no, he's not even. To me, he's not even a fringe. I honestly don't even know why Stanford got a combine invite. But and that's not. People say I'm hating or I'm hard on Stanford. I'm just being honest. I haven't seen it from the dude since he's been on campus, been a starter. I don't know what. I think people just gave him the benefit of the doubt because who his father was. And that's that is what it is there. And D-Jack I think he's a guy that physically can play the game. I just don't think mentally he's an NFL caliber guy, and maybe the XFL can help him. And who knows? You go to the XFL ball out, you might get NFL opportunity. So that's all possible. That's what happened this weekend on the combine. 2 guys participated. 1 guy shined. The other guy did, I think, what a lot of us expected he was going to do, or anybody that watches expected he was going to do. And Two guys didn't get invites, but I don't think their football careers are over by any means. It's if there's anything this XFL has shown, guys will have opportunities. Um, Not too long ago, talked about Zach Evans potentially coming to Florida State. As we know, that did not happen. Is not going to happen. But I think it's worth mentioning that a kid like Zach Evans is a kid, and you hear these dogs out here barking. Zach Evans is a kid that, um, obviously, in my opinion, has little to no interest in school. He wants to play football, doesn't want to play, doesn't want to go to class and do the whole school thing. If he was, he'd be enrolled. He doesn't want to go to school. That's why he hasn't gone to a school yet. If I'm Zach Evans, I'm highly considering. The NFL's not going to take you. They already have their 3-year rule. If I'm Zach Evans, I highly consider the XFL. Train for a year. The XFL will come around next year. Train for a year and go to the XFL. I think that is his. That would be, that's a. You can still play 2 to 3 years in the XFL and still get drafted. If you're that guy. I don't know. It's a maybe a little bit of a long shot, but I think that's a trend that might end up happening. I think the XFL. If there's one thing that the XFL could end up hurting, it's it's college football recruiting if the XFL targets, let's say, the top 20 to 30 players in college football. Not 3 stars. 3 stars can't play at that level. But if you give me the legit top 20 kids in any high school recruiting year, I would argue that a good percentage of them could go play at a semi-pro to pro level. Those guys are two to 3 steps below the NFL. You know, you got some 30-year-old men in the XFL. Don't get me wrong, but for the majority of these guys are not NFL caliber players, and I think these high school kids could compete well with these type of guys. And I hope you guys don't hear these dogs barking. Like, I don't know how loud it is, but they're getting on my nerves. But yep, that's sort of where I'm going with that. Some other news, FSU got two decommitments. So let's go over them. Melvin Jordan, the fourth, 2022 linebacker, 4-star. Honestly, I'm not too worried about a 2022 kid at this point. If I'm just throwing that out there, I don't care. I don't think kids should be committing to programs that early anyway, so I don't care. But it's worth talking about for the FSU news and notes. Melvin Jordan has decommitted from the Florida State Seminoles. Of course, asking like they always do to respect my decision. All due respect, you got it, buddy, but I don't care either way. That's 2 years away. We still got the 21 season to play, and then we got to worry about next season. We got 2 more seasons before that kid would even be on campus if he, committed. He decommits. Also, we had a decommitment today from a running back, a 2021 running back, 3-star again. Now, this is a 2021 kid. That's next year's class. Still, he's a 3-star back, I'll be honest with you. Can't say I care too much at this point. With the way I view Norvell targeting these running backs, to be honest with you, I do not see this as a problem. I think Norvell will be able to get a running back if he wants a running back. Keyshawn Spencer has decided to decommit from Florida State University, and more power to you, my friend. Go out and find the school that fits you the best, Mr. Keyshawn Spencer. And we had one commitment today from 2022 kid out of Georgia. What's his name? Shoot, my bad. I'm looking at it and I just lost it. But yeah, DB from Georgia, 4-star, 2022 kid, Travis Hunter. decides he will commit to Florida State University. Pretty much praises Coach Woodson, the new DB coach, for his commitment. And that's really all the FSU news and notes. I'm not gonna boost up. Again, this is 2022 kid, so I'm gonna have that same energy I have with Jordan, with the same energy that I have with the commitment. Cool to have you. It's 2022. Anything happens in those 2 years. See you if you stay committed, and that's really it. FSU lost a BS game to Clemson this past weekend with the refs. Still, regardless, we still hold the top spot in the ACC going forward. So it's almost time for that tournament play. Almost time for some March Madness. So look forward to that. And again, like always, man, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. I'm gonna get back on my content creation mode. I'm gonna get back to the live streams. I'm just channel's going through maintenance. We're trying to do it big. We're trying to come up. We're trying to get the community rolling. Shout out to I just want to shout out guys that have helped me along in my journey. I've reached out to some fellow Florida State content makers, the hot seat, Turnt Tally. I reached out to those guys to try to give me some help and give me some pointers, and they had no problem with getting back with me, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in, man. And like I say, if you like what you see, man, subscribe to it, share it, comment below. You already know how we get. Hit that thumbs up, hit that like button. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in. Stay classy, Seminoles, and chop it up.